Hello there, welcome. I have a question for you. Do you have enough desire? Now, what does that even mean? You know, the ancient text of the Zohar says something very, very powerful. Ein davar omed lifnei haratzon. Nothing stands before desire. It almost sounds like you can accomplish almost anything if you have enough desire. And I'm here to tell you that's true. That's true. I'm Rabbi Abe from rabbiabe.com. Welcome. And we are going into the new moon of Aries. Aries is responsible for all desire. Aries is the month which is known as the month of freedom. We have the holiday of Passover right in the middle of the month of Aries, which means in exactly 2 weeks from now. And it's important that we know some of the secrets that lie behind Aries, how we can use this new lunar month to our benefit, and how we get the most out of understanding and shifting the consciousness as necessary. Because we know it's all about our consciousness, 99%. So let's get into it. We know Aries is called the child of the zodiac. Aries, astrologically, is the first month of the zodiac. In other words, this is kind of a new year of sorts. We are at the beginning stage of the new cosmic year from the perspective of astrology. Now, make no mistake, astrology affects all of us. We need to learn a little bit about astrology, not so that we can know what to expect, but we need to know the character of the constellation, how its nature affects us, can affect us, so that we can rise above it. And that's the whole point of Kabbalistic astrology, not being bound under the stars, but rising above the stars. Because that would be the definition of idol worship. Idol worship means, this is the way it is. I'm an Aries, I'm a Gemini, I'm a Taurus, and this is how I am. And that would indicate that we would be worshiping, or meaning surrendering to the constellation. And while it's true, we are definitely affected by the constellation, as Abraham the patriarch explained in the book of Formation, Sefer Yetzirah, the stars impel, but they do not compel. That means they have influence. The constellations definitely have influence and an impact on our life, but we are not bound to that, and we can rise, and our job is to rise above the influence, certainly the negative influences of the zodiac. So, as I said, Aries is, generally referred to as the child of the zodiac. A, because it's the first month, so it's kind of the young month. And B, because Aries is a child, meaning Aries kind of acts like a child. In other words, the ego of the Aries is, if you ask them why, they'll say, because, or because I said so, my way. And it's simple. It's called the simple ego, all right? Every constellation has their own brand of ego. A Gemini might say, I know because I'm smart, or I see the whole picture. Virgo might say, I know because I know everything. And, whatever. Every constellation has its own thing. But we're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss the secrets of Aries and how we can benefit. So, desire is required for everything, and nothing stands before desire. So, number one, Aries can supply us with all the desire that we need for the entire year, and that's its job. The problem here is that desire has two sides, okay? Just like everything in life. we have what is called the pure system and the impure system. And that's how the Kabbalists explain it. The pure system or the impure system. Very simply put, the pure system is my desire is for the sake of others, for the sake of sharing, for the sake of benefiting others. So I desire the universe to give me whatever I need for the benefit of others. And the secret here is when you have that type of desire, you can desire as much as you want. You can desire endlessly as long as it's for the benefit of others. Imagine you have to help other people. Imagine you need supplies in a war for other people. Imagine you need, you're collecting charity for someone who needs it. You have no problem to go up to anyone and say, listen, I'm collecting on behalf of XYZ. Give as much as you can. No problem. But if you were going, collecting money for yourself, probably wouldn't be the same, wouldn't feel the same. There would be some element of shame involved, and we call that bread of shame. When it's for ourselves, we don't feel the same permission, if you will. And I'm not sure, how to tell you right now who's giving the permission or not. It's really our own soul, our own spirit. Because the expression from the scripture is a person has shame to look into the face of the one who feeds him. Okay? Meaning, if we're only on the receiving end of something, we don't necessarily feel so good. Okay? Because innately, we feel we need to do something. I need to do something. Let me help with the dishes. Let me help set the table. You invited me over for dinner. I'm not just going to sit on the couch and kick my feet up and you're all alone running around serving me. That's going to feel a little weird, a little awkward. So the soul operates with certain rules and principles which Kabbalah explains. And, the number one rule is the soul. I'm not talking about the body. The body can receive endlessly. But if you're more connected with your soul, you don't feel comfortable to receive gifts. You don't feel comfortable to receive when it's only for you. You have no problem helping others and receiving in order to help other people, but to receive for yourself feels awkward. Again, that's the soul's nature. The body's nature, no problem. I will kick my feet up and you serve me, okay? Good. And I'll just hang out and watch some TV or do whatever. That's for a person who's not so connected with their spirit, because the body and the spirit operate differently. And depending on the degree of how much our body is covering our soul, and I don't mean the body per se, but we do have blockages that stand between our soul's innate creative force and our body. Our body has a nature which is only for itself. It's only for comfort. It's only for the pleasures of this world. Not that there's anything wrong with the pleasures of this world. However, when it becomes self-serving, it does become a problem. It becomes a blockage. So Aries is really the seed of the problem and the seed of the answer. Again, everything depends on desire, and Aries is the seed of desire. But we can't forget that desire also causes us slavery. Slavery to things, slavery to others, slavery to money, slavery to pleasures, slavery to other people. We are slaves. We think in our mind that, all these things are the determining factor in our life, when it's not. The godly force of creation, the Creator, is the determining factor. And everything else is incidental and just a vehicle or channeling that energy. So when we make the mistake, as we often do, of thinking we are under the domain of someone or something, whether it's material, whether it's a consciousness, we fall slaves to anger, to substances, whatever it is. It is a function of desire. And it's also desire that's going to get us out of it. Think about it this way. If you're a smoker and you would like to give up smoking, does it take more desire to quit or more desire to continue to do the thing that you love to do? And of course the answer is, it will take much more desire to overcome the thing that I love to do. I'll need to have a higher level of desire for something greater than this pleasure. So I'll have to have something that I feel is higher. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's losing weight. I'm not sure giving up smoking will help you lose weight. Sometimes it's the opposite. But the point is, we have to have greater desire to get out of the slavery, whatever the slavery is. In fact, this is the entire premise of the Passover. What is the meaning of getting out of Egypt exactly? Egypt is a code word for slavery. Slavery. It's not talking about the physical place. It's talking about a consciousness where we are bound up and not free people. We want to get free. So the first tool we have, the first 12 days of lunar Aries, which is today and for the next 11 days, we have an opportunity to strengthen, build up our desire. Because that is necessary. That is necessary in order to overcome all of our addictions. We need very strong desire. But the key, and this is what we do in the Passover, the key is to now harness that desire so that it doesn't go over and become used by what we call the impure system. What is the impure system? Simple. Selfish behavior, ego, and so on. So our desire can become self-serving. We call it the desire only for myself alone. Desire for me alone. That creates negativity in our life. That creates separation in life. It may get me what I want, but what I want and what I receive will not last long. It will not lead to the blessings of life. What we receive, truly receive in life, from what we call the desire for the sake of sharing with others. There's a difference between receiving by virtue of my desire for me or receiving as a result of benefiting others, because we receive a lot. Receiving by effect rather than receiving as I'm the cause of my receiving. No, others or the Creator will be the cause of my receiving when I decide to let go of me and share. That's how the system works. So again, the job of Aries is to help us. It's two things. Help us, number one, increase our desire exponentially, because we can overcome anything with desire, and we can accomplish anything with desire. But we need number two. And what's number two? The ability to harness that desire so that it will be the desire for the sake of sharing and not the desire for the self alone. A couple of tools to help us do that are the two letters that guide or rule this month. And the letters are the letter Daled. Now the letter Daled here on the right is the letter which controls or influences Mars, planet Mars, which is this month's planet. It rules the month of Aries. Dalet is the war planet, and it is the seed of lack. And we need that, okay? Mars, the red planet, we need that. We need that desire energy that Mars provides. It's interesting, you know, it's called the war planet and blood and everything, and it's all about red. Even I have the red magnet over here. Why red? Why is blood red? Because red has an ability to receive, but it also shares, right? It's the higher level of desire. We call it Bina. And look what the blood does. It receives oxygen, but what's the purpose of its receiving oxygen? It's to keep the body oxygenated, right? Alive. So it's the receiving for the sake of sharing. So we want to connect with that consciousness through the letter Dalet. And the letter He is the constellation of Aries. Constellation of Aries. And we're using that letter and these two letters, we can meditate on them, contemplate on them, to help us create the transformation of all of our desires, to draw the energy of desires, and then to help us transform them so that they are for the sake of sharing and not for the sake of the self alone. Wish everybody a blessed month filled with lots of blessings, lots of desire, endless desire, but it should be for the sake of sharing. Remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I am still offering 30-minute free consultations. Go to rabbieabe.com and I'll see you over there. All the best.